when you're going through your darkest moments and stalling in life, it can feel almost impossible to lift yourself out of that place. But there is always hope. What would you feel if I told you that there is actually no such thing as false hope? That we can have a limitless hope for a positive future? Because actually that's true. But we are never hopeless, ever, because no matter what is going on, you get to choose how you feel about it. And when you choose how you think, that will change your life. And when you can make those thoughts positive, that too will change your life. So I had an experience, must have been at least 15 years ago. I lost a baby I was carrying. The person I was with broke up with me because he couldn't deal with that. In the middle of all of that, I was fired from a television job I loved and replaced with someone. And that was a lot of loss, and I'd never ever been depressed in my entire life, ever, but I suddenly thought, oh, this is what depression is. This is a lot to bear. Lost a baby, lost a partner, lost a job. Could have said I also lost face when I lost that job. But I began to understand what depression really felt like. Luckily, I didn't have it for long because I know how to work with my mind. And I thought later, you know, that was good. I can really look depressed clients right in the eye and go, do you know, I do understand how you feel. I can have empathy for you. I can understand that feeling when you wake up and go, ugh, everything seems so dark. So I don't even regret that. And when I was feeling like that, the only thing that helped me was reading, getting lost in a book. And that's when I wrote my book, Trying to Get Pregnant and Succeeding. I thought, I got to make something good out of this. And I did, and many, many women said, I got pregnant, I had a baby, here's my child. You helped that child come into the world. So while I lost my child, I know that that event helped so many other people to have children, and I'm completely fine with that, and I don't need to feel sorry for me. I feel great. But throughout those dark days, I had hope. Oh, I'm depressed, but I've got an understanding what that is. How can I get over it? And then I created an audio called The Natural Cure for Depression, which would have been much harder for me to make if I hadn't really understood what that actually felt like. I knew that I would write a book and help people, so I always had hope. So you must always create your own silver lining. We hear that word, every cloud has a silver lining. I decided, hey, my cloud's going to have a platinum diamond encrusted lining. Because when something goes wrong, when something doesn't work, and you think, oh, I've got no hope here, you do actually always have a choice, and here's your choice. I can justify why I feel so bad, or I can talk myself out of it. I worked with a client, 17 years old, so young, and when she told her boyfriend she was pregnant, this was a man she loved, her first ever boyfriend, her first sexual experience. He said, it's not mine. And she said, I read in your book something that said I can, in this situation, I have a choice. Rationalize why I feel so bad or talk myself out. And she said, oh, you've just done me the biggest favor. You're not who I thought you were. I could never spend my life with you. I don't want you to be the father of this child. If that's who you really are, I'm so glad I found out now and not 10 years down the line. So when things are bad, really bad, bleak, horrible, sad, miserable, you still have a choice. Rationalize why it's so horrible, or talk yourself out of it. And you can always, always, always talk yourself out of it. And one of the things that helps is to think, you know, this feels bad. Is anything good about it? Is there something good about this? I've just lost a baby that had something wrong with it, and that's so sad. But maybe nature didn't want me to have this baby. Maybe nature looked at the fact that it wasn't a viable pregnancy. I've just been dumped. But if that person could dump me so meanly, they weren't right for me. I got fired and that's so unfair and unjust, but you know what? I'm going to find something bigger, better. So you have to create your own diamond encrusted lining, because working towards hope gives you a limitless perspective on the world, no matter what's going on around you. You know, I recently was working with someone who got the terrible news that their partner was dying and he didn't have very long to live, and they were longing for 2 more years, 3 more years, 4 more years just to be with him. And then one of the relatives said, you know, this is the right way. This is going to be over in 4 weeks, and this would be a terrible thing to have that poor person lying in bed for 3 years sick with your children in the house. And although it seemed awful for her because she wanted more time, she realized that it was actually better that way. I saw that with my mother. My mother's husband, who she loved very much, went into a coma, and she was longing for him to come out of it and live. That was her hope. He's going to open his eyes. He's going to get better. And then she realized he was never going to get better, and she was going to have to visit someone in a coma every day, 3 hours across town. And then she began to hope that he would actually pass away. And when he passed away, that was very sad. It was also a relief, because you see how quickly her hope changed. I hope he gets better. Oh, I hope he doesn't have to stay like this for years and years. And so often our hope changes, our perspectives. I saw that when my father died. My father's lovely wife kept saying to him, don't go, don't leave, stay here. And he stayed just long enough, 10 more days, to give her time to get used to it. And then when he passed, she too said, well, I miss him, but that was horrible for him to live like that, just in bed, couldn't eat, couldn't really talk. That was no life. So hope gives us time to adjust to something that we think is unbearable and painful, and then we sort of get used to it and we adapt, and we can cope with anything that has an ending. Anything at all. When it has an ending, I've seen many people who went to jail. Martha Stewart went to jail, and she made something good of that. Robert Downey Jr. was in all kinds of trouble. So was Jim Carrey. But they turned that around to their advantage, and that's what hope does. It makes you say, okay, this is going to pass. This too will pass. This will get better. How can I use this to my advantage? How can I grow, learn? How can I benefit other people? If you can ask that question, how can my situation benefit others? Then you have massive, phenomenal, incredible hope. To do that, you have to always see an ending. When people go, oh, I'm depressed and it's going to be forever. I'm never going to climb out of this black hole. It's never going to get better. I'm always going to be out of work. I'm never going to find love. When you use those statements, never, always, I can't see a way out of this. I'm just stuck. I'm sinking in this depression, in this horrible situation. It's actually your language that makes you feel so terrible. And your words shape your reality. You know, I worked with somebody who wrote to me when I had my own advice column and said, I'm out of work. I feel like a failure. I just can't get a job in my community. I can't hold my head up. I feel like the worst dad in the world, and there's no hope at all for me. And I spoke to him because I really wanted to help him. I called him, we had a long talk, and the result of that talk is that he decided to coach young children, to coach a football team completely free, to help kids. He created this football team, and he wasn't paid, but he could hold his head up and go, hey, I'm doing something great in my spare time. And then he realized lots of these kids had no IT training, and so he set up a completely free computer school too. And I'm not going to say that he suddenly got a wonderful job, because he didn't. I haven't spoken to him for years, but he said, you know, I can hold my head up. I say, what do you do? As I coach kids, I've got this amazing football team. I'm helping kids play football, get out of the house, I'm training them, and I'm helping them all have computer skills, and I feel great. Another of my clients said, you know, I'm so embarrassed. People say, what does your husband do? And I go, oh, he's an out-of-work actor. He hasn't been employed. And I can see them going, oh my God, there's another smart woman with a deadbeat husband. I said, why don't you tell them he's a writer? Because he is writing. He's writing scripts, he's writing books. And she said, you know, that's amazing. When I say, oh, he's a writer, he's working on a script, he's writing. Has it been published? Not yet. He's really enjoying writing and getting it together. So the way you see something will change everything. It's a question of understanding the truth about human psychology, and here it is. The way you feel about everything is down to the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. So if you're ready to take action and unlock forever an optimistic outlook, which is such a benefit, please join me in the upcoming webinar where I'll guide you through each step to developing a mindset of powerful positivity and hope. If you enjoyed that video, check out the next one right here. You can also click the link below right here for your free gift. The difference between success and failure is often nothing more than this. People who have success also have self-discipline.